About 30 years ago, there was a conference down in Texas about improving rural America. The keynote speaker was former President Jimmy Carter. And he laid out his vision. He said, we're going to send an influx of funding to rural America. We're going to pay for doctors to come in. And we're going to buy equipment for these doctors to use. And we're going to build new clinics for all this to go into, and it's going to change the face of rural America and get all these sick people healthy. This is going to change how America's looking. And well, the room just erupted in applause, and everybody was congratulating the president and oh, how smart he is. And he talked a little bit longer and finally opened up the room to questions. Well, out of the back of the room, this tall lady wearing horn-rimmed glasses walks up to the microphone. She says, Mr. President, my name is Gerry and I'm from Hazard, Kentucky. I mean absolutely no disrespect when I say this, but you could not be more wrong. In my home in Appalachia, we have more doctors per capita than most urban areas. We have more MRIs than all of Canada, and we are still the sickest of the sick. We need help with poverty and isolation. We need jobs, we need access. Well, the room's kind of silent and grumbled a minute. The president kind of made a non-committal response, and the session went on. Gerry went back and had a seat. But somebody was listening. After that session was over, Gerry was approached by some folks from the Kellogg Foundation. They invited her out for a drink, talk about what she'd said. As a result of that conversation, Central Appalachia will never be the same again. Folks, my name is Joel Brashear, and I am, among a few other things, an Appalachian storyteller. And I've been getting asked a lot lately, what are these other things you keep talking about? Well, I'll tell you one of them is I have worked with a group called the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky for over 10 years now. I served as their chairman for about 8. I'm a big fan of their work, and they would not exist without one Gerry Roll. Gerry is a fascinating and amazing lady, and today I'm going to tell you her story. Gerry did not begin her life here in Central Appalachia. She's a transplant. She actually spent her early years in Florida and Tennessee. Her dad played in the NFL. The Colts and the Rams, I believe. Now, this was way before these multi-million-dollar contracts you see today. Gerry didn't grow up deprived or troubled or anything, but they didn't live high on the hog neither. When Gerry talks about her childhood, she says most of the positive memories revolve around her grandparents' place. She remembers citrus trees growing around the place, and there was a pond she always liked to go to. Pretty much any positive memory from her childhood was there at her grandparents' place. As a young adult, she found herself struggling. Divorced, single mother, college dropout. She could have let the system swallow her. She could have gone poorly. That is not what happened. She fought back. She finished college, and she wanted to find some place like the farm that she remembered from her childhood. Where she landed was Hazard, Kentucky. She found in Hazard things she'd always wanted, always needed. She found a loving husband with a big Appalachian family who rooted her in their clan. She found a community that supported her and gave her structure. She found purpose with a job at a charity called Community Ministries. And this was a group of churches that had kind of come together to address problems and situations in the community. And Gerry was brought in to kind of help them with that. And one thing they started working on was homelessness. They looked around, and Hazard had always dealt with their homeless problem by taking the folks and sending them to Lexington or Louisville. Well, they looked at this as being kind to them because Hazard didn't have anywhere to house these folks, so they had shelters in Lexington and Louisville. The problem is the folks they were sending, they didn't want to be in Lexington or Louisville. They wanted to be in Hazard. So they'd make their way back and the cycle would continue. So Gerry decided they needed a homeless shelter here in Hazard, and that's just what she did. And that shelter did a lot of great work for a lot of years, but it was just addressing a symptom more than anything. So she started looking at ways to get affordable housing, and that led into looking at job opportunities and careers, and that made her look at child care. It just kept going and going. One issue led to another, to another, to another, and the one thing that was always a roadblock was money. Finding financing for all of these problems kept coming back over and over and over again. And that is where the conversation with the Kellogg Foundation happened. See, Kellogg wanted to help, but they didn't know how. Gerry wanted the help, but she didn't have the exact solution that they needed. So Kellogg gave her some seed money, and she did a study. And the solution they came up with was a community foundation. The Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky was started because Gerry looked around and said, we could help Perry County, but the problems that we're facing are the entire region. So they worked in every county in central Appalachian Kentucky. They set up affiliates in most of the counties. They're working in almost every town in the region, trying to improve what's going on. Now, if you don't know a lot about the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky, I'll tell you a little bit about it. The floods that have hit this part of the world are well documented. We've had entire communities just wiped off the face of the map. And when that happened, the foundation stepped up. I mean, they were giving grants and helping families and charities and businesses while other organizations were just standing there watching and waiting. We were there quick when it was needed. During the COVID lockdowns, the foundation gave business grants that were literally the difference between these places closing forever and keeping the lights on. Since the foundation started, over $70 million has come in the door. $70 million has come to Appalachia because of the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky. Over half that's already gone back out, doing the work that needs to be done. During this time, Gerry's gone into a lot of rooms full of movers and shakers. She likes to say that, she'll tell me, a lot of these guys are stale, male, and pale. And I try not to take offense to that, but you know, some of these guys aren't used to a strong, opinionated woman coming in and telling them what needs to be done. And Gerry has a trick, a secret that she shared with me. She says, I walk in, I don't care who the guys are. I'll be respectful. I just know we have work that needs to be done, and I don't care who gets credit. And that served her well over the years. Gerry does not want recognition. She does not want praise. She doesn't want her name on a plaque. She just wants the positive things to happen. And I find that mighty admirable. Gerry didn't want to do this interview that led to the story, but she knew we could talk about the foundation. And I appreciate her telling me her story so I could share it with you. I am biased. I do think Gerry is the most impactful woman on Central Appalachia in the last 50 years. The work the foundation has done has moved mountains, has saved lives. It is important, and none of that is possible without Gerry Roll. Gerry changed my life. She did. My joke has always been, I may not look like it, but I'm a cheerleader. I always promote and sing the praises of this region of Appalachia. But Gerry gave me not only the tools, but the confidence to go from being a cheerleader to actually making things happen. And I'm not alone. She's done that for a lot of people. She's an amazing woman, and I am proud to call her my friend. Folks, if you'd like to know more about the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky, I've put a link down in the comments. You can check that out. Funding still continues to be an issue So if you can find it in your heart to donate to any of the wonderful funds that are there, we've got lots of great programs going on. But if you like this, give it a like and a share. Why don't you leave a comment about a woman who's made a big impact in your life? Just share that with us if you would. I love reading your comments. That's my favorite part of this so far. But I'll be back real soon with another one. Till then, you stay safe out there.